Hey guys, welcome back. So this is probably going to be one of the craziest videos that I have ever done on this channel. And I was holding back kind of doing this video. And then I realized that at this day and age, with the fact of how many videos I've done on YouTube and how much interesting stuff that I've kind of provided that's been very, very different than most of the YouTube channels, our perspective on money management, bankroll building, strategies, and all kinds of other crazy stuff that we've talked about, including movies and TV shows lately, that why would I hold back talking about this? So this video, who is this video for? This video is for people that have watched my channel and others and said, man, wouldn't it be something if I had enough money to really take this seriously, to do what Jack says, to build a paycheck generating system using roulette, craps, or baccarat, to be able to start with a small amount of money and build up. But yet, it's still really scary because you have to pay bills. You have other things. You have your car bill, your utilities, your mortgage. You have to pay for other things, your food, and everything in life to be able to keep yourself going. Maybe you're not lucky enough to have that extra $2,000, that extra $5,000, and maybe even $500 or $600 is a little bit much for you at this moment. Does that mean that you can't get involved in the action and start building a future for yourself with casino income generation concepts that we teach? Well, the answer is no. It is not impossible. I am going to introduce you today to one of the craziest ways that some of our people are either building a bankroll, right, or increasing their existing bankroll so that they can get up a bankroll builder plan even faster. So even if you are only at that $10 base level, let's say, and you've created a plan for yourself to go from $10 and eventually, using a plan that we've helped you to create, get to a black chip $100. But you want to determine whether there's a way to help yourself and get there even quicker, because that pot of gold, when you get to the $50 base bet or the $100 base bet, is a game-changing, life-changing thing for you. Is there anything else outside of playing properly, using the right strategies and the right money management that you can do to get there even faster, to have a big amount of chips in front of you like this and a bigger bankroll? Well, the answer is yes. What I'm going to say is completely out of left field. This is the craziest thing I can show you to have a lot of fun, by the way. This is so much fun, what I'm going to show you right now. You have probably never heard of this, most of you, in your life. And wrapping this into what we do here with the casino and bankroll building and creating paychecks from the casino, well, has it been done before? Well, I can tell you that this little secret of ours has been done and is quietly being done. It's just that nobody on YouTube ever talks about things like this. So here we go. I'm going to introduce you to the world of coin roll hunting. Coin roll hunting. What the heck does that mean? Well, here's what it is. If you live in the United States, you know that even as a kid, your parents, your grandparents probably showed you, and you probably sat around helping them roll up nickels and dimes and quarters into these little sleeves that you see inside of here. Let me see if I have another picture. Let's see. Okay. This is an open sleeve. You can go to the bank and turn in your nickels and dimes and quarters and half dollars, and you can sleeve them up, and these are $25 or $10 sleeves or whatever it is, And you're used to probably as a kid creating these sleeves from money that was in your piggy bank or a jar and bringing them to the bank and getting dollars for these, turning your coins into paper money. Well, there's a whole nother side to the coin. These are called bank boxes. So these are the same thing that you guys have seen as a kid, or if you own a business and you've rolled these nickels and dimes and quarters up. These are just big giant boxes that are preset by the bank. And if you have something, some type of big money business, nowadays nobody uses a lot of money. Everybody uses debit cards. But most businesses had to go to the bank on a regular basis to be able to make sure they had currency in their register, just like this, right? So what does this mean, and what does this have to do with our world? Well, let me just go and explain something further to you. The banks are constantly taking in your rolled coins or their rolling coins, and they're rotating them out and giving them to businesses that come in every day. So businesses come in with their rolled coins, and then sometimes they need rolled coins back. So this is just part of the normal United States currency, a regular currency. And this is what goes back and forth. Well, the crazy thing is this. The value of most U.S. coins are pretty much face level, right? So there's copper in coins and there's nickel in coins and things like that. Nowadays, our coins are made out of garbage for the most part. That's not really worth much. But that was not always the case. So in the United States, up until a certain point, we had actual currency that was using gold and silver, right? Now, the U.S. Mint still creates currency that is gold and silver, but it's not meant for you to be spending like regular currency. Those are commemoratives. Those are what's called bullion coins. So those are what we call silver eagles, gold eagles. They come out every year, and people stack those, meaning that what they're doing is they're using them as a hedge against other investments. And they're using them to collect them as well. They collect these coins. They may pass them on to their sons, daughters, grandchildren, whatever it is. Silver eagles, which are a full ounce of silver, or gold eagles. And then there's different amounts. There's half eagles and things of that nature, right? But these are coins. They're not passed around in your change that you get from the grocery store, okay? What we're talking about is actual normal currency that you would be getting from the bank or in coins. And you can get these in the small sleeves, or you can even ask your bank and ask them ahead of time that you want bigger amounts of them, like you see here, these big boxes. Now, they're not going to give you these big boxes. They're not sitting around at the bank. You usually have to ask for them. Okay, hold on one second, guys. Let me close this door. Hold on one second. Okay, I'm back again. So the coins, you're seeing these coins on a regular basis. They come to you in change all the time. You may throw these in a bottle, you may throw these in a jar, and they are sitting there, right? But you're still only seeing small amounts of these coins. You're not seeing $100 in nickels, or $500 in quarters, or $500 in half dollars, things like that. Well, why would you want to see that? Here's the secret. Silver prices in the last month and a half have gone as high as like $120. Right now, they're sitting right around $80 for silver, for an ounce of silver. Now, that's the spot price of silver. There's a different price for coins than there is for the paper value of what silver is when it's traded in paper in the futures market. All right? But silver has been as low as $15 in the last few years. I was buying silver at $11 a few years ago. And everybody was what's called stacking silver, right? They were hoarding silver coins. They were hoarding silver bars, waiting for this explosion that has now happened in the last few months. So silver went to 120. It's now down back in the $78, $80 mark. And it's probably going to go back up again. But this video is not about predicting the cost of silver, because it doesn't matter. Here is what I want you to see. Let's talk a little bit about silver and US dollar coins, and then I'm going to explain to you what coin roll hunting is. All right. So in the United States, all right, this information is readily available on Google, okay? Readily available, and there are a ton of wonderful guys here on YouTube that explain silver stacking. And what you want, here's the key words: silver stacking and coin roll hunting. Coin roll hunting. This is so much fun, and it has nothing to do with the casino. But I'm going to explain to you how it can be used in our world. So let's go on. So this is just half dollars. All right, I'm going to talk to you about half dollars. I'm not even going to bring up dimes and nickels and everything else. I'm just going to give you a little idea about half dollars. All right, because I like half dollars. And quarters as well. All right, so U.S. silver half dollars. This is our 50-cent pieces, right? You can get them at the bank. You get them sometimes in change, not that often, but you can get them, all right? 50-cent silver coins were minted with 90% silver, 90% pre-1964, okay? Now, there are multiple different types of half dollars that were made in the United States. They were 90% silver. Silver is currently worth about $80, right? $80. I'm going to give you a secret. You need a $1.40 face value of any silver coins, right? These 90% silver coins, any of those, to get to basically around an ounce of silver. A $1.40 face value of these coins equals about 1 ounce of silver, if you're curious about that. So pre-1964, the Liberty, the Franklin, the Kennedy, all of these half dollars that have been made in the last century for the most part. Okay, there's some other ones too. But this is not a lesson in coin collecting, which is a lot of fun. But there's plenty of videos on that right here on YouTube. So they are 90% silver. After 1964, the 65 to 70 half dollars, 1965 to 1970, they were 40% silver. Okay, 40% silver. All right? And that's the story. So I'm not going to go down the road too much, other than to tell you, I'm giving you a little bit of an example. So here's the different types. Walking Liberty was made 1916 to 1947. Franklin's were made at 48 to 63, right? And then the Kennedys through 1964 were 90% silver. And then 65 through 70 of the Kennedys are only 40% silver. Everything after that is made from junk metal. Okay? So we're not going to talk about that. Now, you can do your homework on this, and you can learn about silver dimes, silver nickels, here, silver dimes. And there's such amazing stuff on YouTube for this, by the way. These guys are amazing. Okay, here we go. Here is the silver dime situation. Dimes that were minted in 1964 again, or earlier, contain 90% silver. Right? Okay. There's all different type of dimes. There's Roosevelt dimes, Mercury dimes, whatever it may be, right? And again, $1.40 of any combination of face value of these 90% stuff ends up being about an ounce, right? About an ounce or so, okay? Of silver. All right. So, and you can check me on that. This is not my expertise. This is something I'm just introducing to you guys. So where am I going with this? This is where I'm going with this. Imagine this, okay? Imagine what I'm going to tell you now. We have learned from a few guys that are doing this how much fun this can be, right? What are we talking about? We're talking about coin roll hunting. This is how it works. You can do it with the half dollars. You can do it with dimes. You can do it with nickels, whatever you want. Oh, and quarters, absolutely with quarters as well. The dates before a certain point, I think it's 64 also, you'll have to look, are also 90% silver, right? Our currency at one point was all silver or gold, except for pennies that were all copper, right? All right, that are worth more than a penny. So here's what these guys do, and here's what is so much fun. It takes me away from the computer. It gives me something else to look at. And outside of just the silver, there are coins because of the errors and the variations that are worth even more than the silver. All right? We're not going to get into the coin variations, the numismatic value. There's plenty of YouTubers when you look at coin roll hunting, and I'm going to try to give you some of the better channels and videos below here. Okay, this is just an introduction to how it works in our world. So this is how it comes together. If you have an account, you don't need a commercial account. You don't need a company account. As long as you have in the United States, in most cities, a bank account with Wells Fargo or Fifth Third or this or that or Bank of America, whatever, you can go into the bank and request these rolls, right? You can be friendly with the tellers and they will be good to you. You can ask them if you can order, they may have to order it ahead of time, $100 worth of rolled quarters, $500 worth of rolled quarters. Again, I like doing the bigger ones. That's just me. I like doing quarters and half dollars. That's kind of my deal, right? But a lot of people like doing the Mercury dimes and the other things as well. All right. And they get this big box. Let's say the box costs you $500. Okay, depending on the denomination of the coin. All right. You're going to need a nice clean space with a mat. You're going to need the magnifying glass thing, right? If you really want to get into looking for the variations in the coins that could be worth thousands of dollars to coin collectors, not just the silver, right? But let's just talk about the silver for a minute, all right? So you get this big case, this fun, exciting case of $500 worth of half dollars, right? You gave the bank teller $500. They are not charging you extra money. You are swapping your $500 for $500 in coins, all right? They should not be charging you. They don't charge you. They are not a coin store. They are a bank, okay? You get your $500. Once you get good at this, and I'm not saying you should rush through it because I have a lot of fun doing it, you will open up the rolls slowly and you will go through the half dollars and the quarters. And what you're going to learn by watching some of the coin roll hunting videos is that you can look at the edges of these, and many times just by doing that, you can get an instant glimpse that the coin is full silver or 90% silver. Okay. Now, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm telling you that you're going to find in $500 worth of half dollars or $1,000 worth of half dollars that you're going to find $8 million worth of silver. That's not the story. Here's the story. If you do this, and if you learn the variations and the errors on the quarters or the half dollars, and you find those in the 500, and you find, lucky enough, one 1964 or below, let's say half dollar or quarter or whatever it is, you put them aside. Okay? There are coin roll hunting where you can do a big box of these, and you literally can find in these boxes variations that are worth, the coin may be worth $15, $30, $50, right? In these boxes because of the variations when you understand what those variations are, right? And the 90% silvers. So let's talk about that for a minute. You took your $500, $300, $200, and you went to the bank and they gave you these rolls. And you found a few silver coins. 1964 half dollars, Kennedy's, whatever. Or something older, right? Whatever it is. And you started to understand the variations that are available. Here's one of the books. Okay? You can get this at your Barnes & Noble, right? You can buy it on Amazon. There's another book called The Red Book of U.S. Currency. That's phenomenal as well, okay? This book and the Red Book gives you the variations of U.S. currency, the errors, the problems, the whatever, okay? They also give you the amount of the mintage. How many of each coin was minted per year? Because some of the coins have key dates where those are worth more money just because they weren't minted as many, right, in that year. Because of the war, because of this war, that war, whatever war. There's always a war. Okay. And all of a sudden, you went through your $500 in rolls, and you put these aside, and you had a lot of fun doing it. It's a hunt. It's fun. And let's just assume that out of the 500 coins, whatever they are, half dollars, quarters, nickels, I don't know, whatever they may be, you found several 90% silvers, and you found some variations from the books, right? And now you have $50 worth of extra money, okay? That $50, that $100, that $25, not only did you have fun doing this, but there are people that are doing coin roll hunting on a regular basis. Now, it's not for everybody. I told you this video was going to be crazy, right? And it is. But if you really want to build a bankroll and do what we're teaching you how to do, but you also want a little bit of a kick maybe, a way to juice it up, I'm giving you the way to do that. That doesn't even cost you anything. This is the way that the bank, the United States government, can help to support and fund your casino bankroll. Is that the craziest thing you ever heard? I think it is. I think it's crazy. So now you may ask me, what do I do with all these coins then? After I've gone through the rolls and I've looked for these variations and these errors and these silver coins and all this stuff, what do I do now? Well, the bank needs them back. They're circulated coins. You took your 3 or your 5 or your 10, whatever coins out, right? Let's say that's Let's say it was $500 you spent on these rolls. And now, in terms of the actual denomination, you pulled out $5 worth of coins, face value. But the $5 worth of coins are worth $40, $50, $120. Who knows what you found in there, right? You're going to see what this looks like when you look at the other people's coin roll hunting. And I'm going to try to do some of these videos with you. I'm going to have to learn how to do them properly so you guys can see the coins or whatever, but I'm going to do that as part of a series here. So, but the other guys have been doing it for years, so you definitely want to watch them. So now, you're going to re-roll those coins. The bank is usually going to give you the sleeves for free, so just ask them for it. If not, you can buy them for a penny each at a coin, at a coin shop or Walmart or Amazon, whatever it is. Okay? They'll usually give them to you for free. You're going to re-roll the coins. So now, you want to re-roll the $500 or $200 or whatever worth of coins. You kept out the $5, $8, $10 face value of the coins that you're going to keep. So you have to get more of those coins. You go to the bank and you ask them, hey, I need $5 half. I need this, I need that. Boom. You finish, you re-roll the $200, the $500, the $50 worth of coins, and you return them. Now, don't return them to the same bank. You really want to return them to a different bank, just in case that you want to do it again very quickly 2 days later, 3 days later. You don't want to get the same coins back. So you can switch off by the bank or the location that you're getting them from, and another bank completely different that you're bringing them back to. All right? That's a little hint. All right? So what have we accomplished here? We exchanged our X number of dollars for these coin rolls. Cost us nothing. We now found $20, $50, $100, $1,000 worth of, numismatic coins, silver coins, whatever it is. Now, do all these coin hunts end up being that there was something good in it? No, that's why it's a treasure hunt. That's why it's a hunt. But most of them, you get something. If you come to me every day and you give me a $100 bill, and the next day I give you the value back of $110, do you understand what the compounding does there? Do you understand what that can do for you? I do. Some of these coin hunting adventures you're going to have are going to end up being duds. So what? So what? It doesn't matter. But the ones that you find, the silver quarters, the silver half dollars, the silver dimes, whatever it may be, are going to add up and add up and add up. I've shown you in other videos, using the daily compound calculator at our website, casinostrategiesgpt.com, what happens when small money ends up getting bigger and bigger with compounding. So what happens if you wanted to do this and you're having so much fun with your spouse, your girlfriend doing this, your children, your grandchildren, whatever, that you started doing this on a regular basis? And you set up a couple of different bank accounts so that you were using different banks to get the coins, right? The boxes of coins, whatever they'll give you, right? And what happens if you did this several days a week? While you're watching Netflix, you're looking at coins. You're taking a break from work, right? What happens if you find $30 worth of these, 50, 60, 100, and it adds up? And one of those funds, one of those coins, ended up being the juice that you needed, that little tiny extra that you could put into your bankroll. so that it was even easier to go from a $5 base bet starting bankroll to a 10, to a 25, to a 50. Just a little bit of extra juice for you. Or what if you don't have a bankroll? And you bought our courses and you love what we're doing and you're excited about doing it, but you don't have the money. I'm giving you a way to either juice your bankroll, create a bankroll, and have it cost you absolutely nothing. Now, if you're excited about the coin roll hunting, which I enjoy just for doing it, okay, you don't have to have this have anything to do with the casino. At all. But I wanted to introduce coin roll hunting to you guys as just another added, really cool, fun thing you can start doing to add to your bankroll, to add to contributions. If you go to the daily casino compound calculator, you'll see there's that little area there that I always skip over and say, oh, just unclick this. Monthly contribution. There's a reason why I skip over that, because I wasn't ready to do this video. The monthly contribution thing is this. It wasn't meant to be that you were just putting in extra money every month, and you certainly can do that to add to your bankroll. But the reason we put it in is because we have several students over 2 years ago that told us they were doing coin roll hunting and they were looking for coins at garage sales. People have jars of coins, and if you ask them, hey, do you have any old coins? A lot of people inherited coin rolls or jars and they're just shoved in their garage somewhere from their grandparents. Guess how many coins in there have the 90% silver? Or even the 40% silver? That's why we added the monthly contribution thing to the casino calculator. I just wasn't ready to tell you. So that's the fun. I've been waiting to start this for a long time and explain this to you guys. It is so much fun. And to include your kids and your grandkids in this and starting to teach them about currency and money and collecting coins and filling those little albums that many of us have with the pennies and the nickels, and doing this as working towards something is a lot of fun. Outside of the casino stuff and the bankroll building, it's a lot of fun. But we have people that are actually doing this multiple times a week, and they're helping to build their bankrolls. And you know what happens when you go from a bankroll and you're working a bankroll builder plan from a $10 start and you're looking to get to the $100 black chip. Every bit helps, as you've seen in the compound calculator. I just gave you a way to have fun, have the bank and the United States government, Mint, the Federal Reserve, support your bankroll building. How often can you do this? As often as you can get rolled coins. It's as simple as that. Now, you may have other businesses in your local area that still do a lot of coins. It's getting less and less, as we know, with the debit cards and everybody paying like that. But be on the lookout for businesses that still operate on a change basis. I'm going to give you another secret. Vending machine companies. Other companies that have to roll their coins on a regular basis. There's a lot of them. Laundromats. I don't want to go too far. I'm not going to give it all away. But you got to think. You need to contact them and tell them that you can show up once a week, twice a week, and buy their rolled coins from them. You're doing them a favor. They don't have to go to the bank. So it depends on how far down this rabbit hole you want to travel. You can go to the bank and just get rolled coins. Now, there's bank-rolled coins and there's customer rolled coins. The better of the two is the customer rolled coins. But if you're buying those big boxes like I've shown you, they're just a mixed bag because those are being rolled by the bank. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're not. We never know what we're going to find. But the more you get into this, the more fun it is. So I'm going to give you links to some of the YouTube channels that are going to teach you coin roll hunting. And they're also going to go farther down the road to help you to buy these mats, as well as the books that are going to show you outside of just the silver, these other variations that could be worth a lot more than a quarter, a lot more than a $50. Remember, 500 hours in gives you $500 or $200 or whatever of these coins. If you simply get $10 worth of silver or these other coins or $30 or $40, you're basically getting $30, $40 for free. Now, last thing, what do you do with these coins? You're not going to get exactly what you see they're worth. You know, if you go to eBay or if you go to some of the coin valuation sites on the internet, you're not going to get exactly that. It's not like that, right? You're always going to get more money for these coins from a collector, a private source, than just running to the coin shop where they're not going to do that, okay? So you have choices how to turn these into money. Yeah, you could sell them on eBay. Okay, there's 1 million people looking. You could sell them on Facebook Marketplace. You could start to learn about other people that collect in the area that'll easily flip these and buy these from you, right? There are other websites on the internet that'll buy these. Or if you're not looking to sell them right away, because the silver price, let's say they're silver coins and it's at $80 and you know it's going to go back to 100 or you think it is, you can hoard them, what we call silver stacking. And you can wait for the price to go up and then look to sell these every month, every few weeks, every few months. Or you can have a long-term proposition, which is what most of these coin roll hunters do. They're not looking to churn and turn the money quickly because they're looking to what we call stack silver and just keep stacking silver. These people have been stacking silver since it was $12, $13, $14, $15. It's now at $80 and it was $100 just a few weeks ago. So you can become a silver stacker. Or you can use it in our world and turn this extra money into more money into your bankroll. That's up to you. I just wanted to introduce you guys to coin roll hunting, and hopefully very soon I'll be getting a box and we'll set it up and we'll start doing this as a new series on this channel to show you how much fun it is. So again, I'll put the links to the books below on Amazon. You're going to want a magnifying glass if you're going to be looking for the variations. My eyes, I can't even see what they're talking about without looking under a scope, a special coin scope, or a magnifying glass. And then you're going to want a nice, safe place to store the ones that you find. So these other YouTube channels do an amazing job on this. I am not an expert. I am bringing this to you as an incredibly fun way of having the bank fund your casino bankroll. Absolutely crazy. I'll see you guys on the next video. Have a great day. I'm going to leave the comment section probably open on this video. We'll see. I don't normally do that. We'll see how it goes. But we are going to do more videos like this, and maybe I'll be able to delve further into it if you guys really enjoy this. But you're going to be able to see everything you need to learn on these other channels that I'll give you below. Have a great day, guys. Let the bank fund your casino bankroll. Take it easy. Bye-bye.